everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to our virtual Preschool Science Series today. To introduce myself, my name is Sarah Snyder. I'm the program coordinator here at the Montana Science Center, and I have some really fun stuff planned for us today for our virtual Preschool Science Series. Before I get us started though, I'm in our space by myself. I thought I'd just give you a walk through our classroom so I can refresh you what it was like to be here. So here we go. All right, everyone, our classroom is still here. We're missing you so much. Our barn is still here, our books, our light table, our blocks. I have some plants over here. We miss you so much, and we can't wait to share this space with you in person when it's safe to do so. All right, so for our Preschool Science Series today, we're gonna be talking about a place. And this place, we're so fortunate to live very close to this place, and this is Yellowstone National Park. I have been there a couple times. I'm sure some of you have been there a couple times. You might have driven through West Yellowstone or through Gardner. There's lots of different ways to get into Yellowstone National Park, and it's not that far away from us, as it turns out. It's a very interesting part of our planet and of our state of Montana. There's lots of different things that live there, and lots of interesting and unique things to see. So today, in relation to Yellowstone National Park, we're going to be focusing on one part of Yellowstone National Park called Grand Prismatic Spring. And that's a really cool spot of Yellowstone National Park because it has these big pools of really colorful water. It almost looks like it has been dyed, but it's not. It's the color of the water and the bacteria living in there. So I'm gonna link a virtual tour of Yellowstone National Park to this video so you can take a virtual tour of Grand Prismatic Spring, or you can just Google it and see it. With what's going on with coronavirus, we might not be able to see it in person, but we can definitely look at photos of it, and that's awesome. So I am gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about Grand Prismatic Spring. How does it get those colors? What's happening? Why is the water so hot? What is a hot spring? So friends, there's different layers of our planet Earth, and the very top layer is called the crust, kind of like the crust of a pie or the crust of a pizza. And sometimes there's kind of cracks in that, and when there's cracks in the crust, below the crust, inside the Earth, it's super hot. So that hot temperature heats up water, and that's what makes a hot spring. And there's certain bacteria, kind of like we learned about last week when we classified bacteria. There's certain bacteria that really loves the hot water, and they have lots of different colors. And there's bacteria in Grand Prismatic Spring that really love hot water. That's like their ideal place to live. And they're different colors, like that really pretty blue or yellow that we see. So that's kind of the science behind Yellowstone. Feel free to check out the link to the virtual tour if you would like. I'm gonna go ahead and start us off with our book reading now. All right, so our book title today is called I Celebrate Nature. It was written and illustrated by Diane Iverson. And we could celebrate nature not just in Yellowstone National Park, but we could do this anywhere, at a park or in our backyard, on a hike. I celebrate nature. With its green and golden trees, I walk softly among the butterflies and creatures running free. I love to chatter with the birds. Oh, they're talking to the ducks. We have lots of ducks here too. And watch them fly up in the air. I help the puffballs scatter seeds through meadows broad and fair. I feel the skipping, dancing water and the crunch of autumn leaves. I hear the far coyote and the gentle buzz of bees. I am grateful for these creatures. Maybe you could think about what you're grateful for in nature the next time you go outside. And the world that we share. And try to find some little way. Oh, it looks like they're building a birdhouse. To show them I care. And they did build a birdhouse, friends. That was a really thoughtful idea. The
end.
All right, so through our book reading, I hope you've learned maybe something new, a new appreciation of going outside and enjoying nature. I feel like since we can't be together in person, a lot of us have been spending time outside, which is really good and keeps us healthy in lots of ways. So I'm gonna go over our craft first. So for our craft today, we are gonna make our own version of the Grand Prismatic Spring. Here's the one I drew. I used regular computer paper. If you have other paper that you would like to use, go ahead and try it. There's no right or wrong way to make art. And I used some oil pastels for my Grand Prismatic Spring, and I kind of blended them. You could use crayons though, you could use markers, you could use a mix of all of them. Feel free to get creative. I used some damp cotton swabs to sort of blend my Prismatic Spring as well. And I've noticed when I've been outside taking walks or biking that a lot of people in Bozeman are hanging art in their windows. So if when you're done with your Grand Prismatic Spring, you want to make an entire art installation of Yellowstone National Park, this could be something that you put in your window as a thought for people who walk by, and they can view your artwork from afar. Okay, next, we are going to go over our science experiment. So let's get started.
Okay, so for our science experiment, we are going to be doing the magic milk experiment. This is something that you may have seen done before, and today we're going to pretend that it is the Grand Prismatic Spring. So what you'll be needing is a shallow dish. I'm using a pie plate, milk, dish soap, food coloring, and a Q-tip or a paintbrush. So for the first step, I'm going to go ahead and pour a layer of milk into my pie plate, or whatever plate you choose to use will work as well, and make sure that the layer of milk covers the entire surface of your container. Okay, so it should look something like that when you are done. Next step, I'm going to use my food coloring and do small drops of food coloring into the milk. Since we're doing Grand Prismatic Spring, I think I'm going to focus on doing blue and yellow for my colors. Okay, so here's what my dish looks like now. The last step is to get a dollop of dish soap onto a Q-tip or paintbrush, whatever you're using, and to place that Q-tip or paintbrush in the center, into the milk, into the center of the dish, and watch what happens. So let's take that next step together. Okay, so I have a good dollop of soap. I'm going to place it in the middle, and we'll watch and see what happens. Whoa. Do you see what's happening, everyone? Is it starting to look like Grand Prismatic Spring yet? I'm going to just leave that paintbrush in there, and we'll just observe what happens. While we're watching what happens to our fake or simulated version of the Grand Prismatic Spring, maybe form a hypothesis as to how you think this works. Why does the soap make the colors move so beautifully? It's okay if you don't know the answer. We can just make a guess or a hypothesis, and then I'll tell you the science behind this experiment.
All right, so what do you think the soap did to move or sort of allow those colors to mix and make a pretty simulated version of Grand Prismatic Spring? How does this experiment work? Do you have any ideas? So the science behind this experiment is a lot like the experiment we did last week with the pepper and the soap. So we know that the molecules of the milk are situated kind of like the pieces of a puzzle. They fit pretty nicely. And when we add the drops of watercolor, they fit pretty nicely too. However, when we add the soap, they're kind of disrupted, like someone shook the puzzle pieces up a little bit, and that's what allows the color to move beautifully on top of the surface of the milk. There you have it, friends. That is another wrap on a virtual preschool science series. I hope you all are well and safe. I want to encourage us all to continue to wash our hands and exercise and do something every day that makes you feel happy. These are really interesting times, and we're excited to be with you in person as soon as it's safe to do so. I miss all of you so much, and I can't wait to have you back in our classroom space with us again soon. All right, we'll catch you next time. See you later. Bye.